Good afternoon, friends. Welcome to Sunday. It's been a little bit, or a couple days, I guess, since I recorded just letting the tripod sit. So maybe I'll talk a little bit, maybe I won't. Either way, I'm kind of tired. It is 5:27 in the afternoon. It's been a nice day so far. I haven't really recorded because my day is only just now getting started. As I indicated in yesterday's vlog, yesterday was kind of a late day because of just Kayla's work shift. Fridays and Saturdays, when Kayla works closes, they're at work until like 3, 4 in the morning sometimes, so we're up for quite some time during those nights. But since tonight's a Sunday, shouldn't be that late. They'll probably be home at like 3 in the morning, I'd imagine. But yeah, it was a good day. I have been listening to Critical Role again. I'm listening to Campaign 2 just because I have so much nostalgia for it, and it just makes me happy. I enjoy it a lot. I watched the first season of the animated series for Campaign 2 with Kayla back around like Christmas, around like December, I think, when it was coming out, and that shit was good. I'm very excited to see how they're adapting the story because it was only 7 episodes, but I genuinely feel like that was probably one of the best shows I've seen. Not the best. The best show is The Good Place, and I will stand by that forever because, my god, what a fantastic show that was. I literally bought it on DVD because I enjoy it so much, but the Mighty Nein animated series was very good, and I'm very excited to see more. As for what I'll be doing today, I'm probably going to get some more writing done. I'm not as tired as I was yesterday. I don't have as much sleep debt to worry about. I think my tiredness just comes from not drinking coffee yet. I have coffee here, and we'll be sharing the first sip with you guys pretty soon, but maybe I'll play more Ys 10. I played a little bit last night before I recorded the last vlog clip, and I think I was just too tired. The game introduced a new mechanic that made me a little worse at the combat because I kept forgetting it was a thing. And it's also a thing that takes a little time to function instead of just something that happens immediately. So when they have you fight a mini-boss that requires the use of that mechanic, I forgot that mechanic existed. And so like it would do this attack where it envelops the entire arena, and I'm like, well, how the hell am I supposed to avoid taking damage? And I took a lot of damage that fight. That fight actually made me lower the difficulty back to easy mode because I used both my potions, and at the end of the fight, both Adol and Karja were at like probably like 50 HP, which is very low. But like most of the way through the fight, I remembered the mechanic that the game taught me, and I'm like, oh, you're supposed to do this when it's charging that attack that like envelops the entire arena. And yeah, that helped a lot, but I still took a lot of damage, and it dampened my confidence a little bit, but it could have also just been because I was tired. Maybe I'll bump the difficulty back up to normal today, and we'll see. It was probably just because I was too tired to play, yada yada. Anyway, before then, I'll be getting some writing done. I wrote like 4,000 words yesterday. We're gonna see how much I write today. I'm gonna try the same method I mentioned yesterday, where after every paragraph I write, I'll like internally celebrate, so that way I associate dopamine with finishing a paragraph of writing, and then it can like because a paragraph takes like no time to write, so you can get that real quick hit of dopamine if you're training yourself that it's like productive, I suppose. But yeah, I also finally got past my block on the Syadas War. I mulled over the plot part of the outline for so long. I was so frustrated with myself for being like, you know, this is the first book I ever wrote. You'd think I would know this story like the back of my hand, and I do. But trying to actually plot or outline the plot was so difficult because I'm like, I have to consider all the different working pieces and stuff, and I'm like, none of these beginnings feel right. Like, none of these beginnings feel like they'll make an interesting story. And then last night at like 3:30 in the morning, right before Kayla called me when they were off work, I was just sitting there staring at the page, and I'm like, I'm too tired to play games. I've done my work writing for the day. I just want to see if I can get something written. And I did. I got a really good start, and that like follows the main character's arc. and I'm even further along than my previous attempts at writing this plot have been. So, thank the Lord, I finally got a plot going on, and I'm very happy about that. Anyway, I've rambled on long enough. Let's go ahead and share our first sip of the day. Hell yeah. That hazelnut creamer is so good. I've already gushed about it before, I'm pretty sure. But I think I'm gonna go ahead and get started on writing. I'll probably get some groceries too. Nothing too much. I've spent enough money as is, and I am not getting paid as soon as I normally do because I took that 3-day break from writing. So my next paycheck's not gonna be in for a little while. But yeah. I'm not like broke, so that's good. But I'll grab some groceries, continue writing, maybe listen to music, more Critical Role later perhaps, and I will check in with you guys probably after I finish my writing. I only just now finished my work writing, and it is a few minutes from midnight. I don't know what it was. I just couldn't get the energy to write until it was already late. And I'd already gotten some writing done. I think I finished like 1,500 words earlier when I said I would write. And then I got distracted by other things. I made dinner and stuff. And then 10 o'clock hit, and I was suddenly struck with the energy to write. I watched a video skit about Brandon Sanderson, and I think just seeing anything related to that man kind of sparks my creativity, I guess you could say, and motivates me to want to get back to writing, because that man, or I guess I literally have one of his books on hand. This man's creative output is insane, and I love him for it, and I need to read more of his books. I've finished this one. I've actually been meaning to talk about this on the vlog, but this was my first Brandon Sanderson novel. I've known about him for years, because I've watched his YouTube videos, I've seen like his lectures at BYU, things like that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's Mormon because of the fact that he does lectures at BYU, and that would make sense. I've had some really good author friends who are Mormons, so it's understandable. But yeah, his writing is insanely good, and this book, like, it started pretty slow. The ideas were really good. I really liked the world building and the magic system, like Feruchemy and whatever the Terracemen call their magic systems. I can't remember what it's called. Or Allomancy, or Feruchemy is the Terracemen magic system. Allomancy is the magic system that Kelsier and Vin use. Is his name pronounced Kelsier? I've never heard the name, I've just been assuming it's Kelsier this whole time. It could be Kelsier, but that seems a little weird, but maybe it is. There's a movie for this book coming out, or in the works, so I guess we'll see when the movie comes out, and I'm sure Brandon himself has said the name out loud before. Anyway, goddamn fantastic book, slow at the beginning, very worth it in the end, because, like, the last 100 pages were insane. And I binged the last 100 pages in one sitting. Like, I was sitting here for like 2 hours reading that because I was just completely captivated, and it was so good. Anyway, this man writes like 500 words a year, and his writing output is insane. So I try to not necessarily match it, but something he mentioned is that he does a minimum of 2,000 words a day, and that's how he can reach the, prolific author status he has. He's written so many books, and I know he picked up the Wheel of Time series after, I don't know what happened to the original author. I think the original author passed away or something, or maybe they just left it unfinished. I don't know. All I know is people joke about him picking up A Song of Ice and Fire because George R. R. Martin has yet to finish the series. But yeah, his writing is insane, his output is insane, and I love him for it. And my writing output has been pretty crazy too. You just wouldn't know it because it's all private writing for people who commission my work. My actual book writing has slowed down because I'm writing full-time now, ironically. So I won't be as prolific of an author as he is, until I eventually reach a point where I can just write my own novels full time and not have to worry about the financial side of things. But I mean, I guess that's just the reality most of us live in. Like, I'm lucky in the fact that I can write as a job, but like for the most part, other authors also just work regular full-time jobs while writing. So none of us, unless we have incredible dedication and spend like every ounce of free time writing, will ever reach that level of output. But I've definitely gotten close, especially with all the stories I've written, you know, working as a full-time author the past year. And I know I've definitely written over 100,000, maybe 200,000 words over the span of this, because my average commission is like 20,000 words long. So you do enough of those, and I'm writing those like every other week too. I am slowing down a little bit and I'm giving myself more time to write them, because two weeks to write 20,000 words is not a lot of time. So there's a lot of stressing out, and it's like, unless you're writing for like 10 hours a day every day, you're not getting to that point very easily. And unfortunately, my brain doesn't work too good. So I can't just sit there and write for 10 hours a day because my brain needs to be stimulated by other things. I probably could if I really focused. I've done that before. Back when I was writing the Black Crystal series, I was working at a call center at the time. And there was one day where we were just so slow, and I had a 10-hour shift. That entire shift I was writing, and I busted out like 10,000 words in a single sitting. And I can do that amount like regularly now if I really wanted to, but that's so much, and I get so burned out after writing like more than 7,000 words in a single sitting. So right now my aim is 4,000 words a day. I feel like that is the perfect pace to be at. It is just barely enough to make it to where I can finish a commission in decent time. And it's also like not too on the low side either. So it's like 2,000 minimum is good, but if I can reach 4,000, then that'll be excellent. I feel like that's a good standard to set, because it only took me like an hour to write 2,500 words just now. So 4,000 is very doable, and that's something I'd like to try. Unfortunately, that does leave me with very little time to play a game. I started a replay of Trails Through Daybreak because I was just in the mood for it, and I just want to experience that game's story again. But I still want to work on the outline for the Sayada's Tale, or the Sayada's War. It's going to take a while for me to get used to the new title, because I'm so used to the Crystal's Tale. That's what it's been called for years at this point, possibly decades. It did have a different name back when I first wrote it, but we don't talk about the old name. It's definitely going to take some getting used to, but I do want to work on that outline, because I could probably finish the plot outline tonight if I really wanted to. And then, you know, I could finally get started on the bulk of the outline, which is breaking it down scene by scene. Like, what's going to happen in each scene, what are the characters' motivations, who's involved, what are some key lines of dialogue that may be there, and then arranging the scenes. And that's what the word processor Scrivener is really good for, because you can arrange the scenes as their own separate documents, and then if a scene doesn't fit very well in one spot, you can just click and drag it to another spot on your list of chapters or scenes real easily. It's way simpler than having to like highlight, cut, and paste like elsewhere on a Google Doc or something. Scrivener has been very helpful to me the last few years I've been using it, and I'm looking forward to using it in my next leg of the author journey, by essentially continuing from where I started with a much higher quality story, or version of the story I've written 22 years ago. But with that, I'll probably get some work done on the Sayada's War, maybe get a fair amount of the outline written. If I don't finish the plot, it's okay. I've already gotten my daily 4,000 words written, so if I can't get far in the outline, then that's fine by me. Hopefully tomorrow I'll be able to focus a little more on writing, so I can do my 4,000 words and get a lot of progress done on the outline. I don't want to burn myself out, so like I've resolved for the month of August to take it slow. I may have mentioned that already in yesterday's vlog, but I want to pace myself a little better so I don't burn out as much, so I can keep this forward momentum going and keep writing daily instead of feeling like I need to take like a 3-day vacation from a job I absolutely adore. You know what I mean? And I want to keep it to where I just enjoy doing it. I enjoy the process, and I don't want to feel like I have to burn myself out to do it. Anyway, I've rambled on long enough. Audio's probably messed up, because that's how it goes with these long recordings, so I'm just going to wrap up today. I still have to be up for a few more hours because of Kayla's job, but that's fine. I got some sleep today. That's why I didn't actually record a vlog clip until 5 p.m., so I'm feeling great. I'm definitely not nearly as tired as I was last night. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. You are all wonderful people, and as always, I will see you again tomorrow.